Class SQL. What did I ask you to do? Loudly. I asked you to do some queries. Theory, what did I ask you to read? Okay. What is entity integrity? Entity integrity. Huh? That is integrity. What is entity integrity? Okay. Every entity must be uniquely identifiable. So how do you do that? How do you do that? By using primary key. What is other integrity? Okay. What is differential integrity? What is differential integrity first? There cannot exist a child without a parent. Okay. And how do you do it? By using foreign key. Okay. What is domain integrity? You give an example. I want the definition. Next. Fast. That is technically how do you do it. But what is domain integrity? If you have to explain domain integrity to somebody, what will you tell? Next. Right? Domain integrity. What is domain integrity? The values in a particular column must belong to a particular domain. Okay, that is what is domain integrity. And how do you do that? By using check constraints, rules. Okay. What else did I ask you to do? What is primary key? Primary does not contain null values. That's all. So it can have duplicate values. Then who will tell that? So you are telling what is there in a primary key, but you are not explaining what is primary key. You are not there in yesterday's class. What happened? Huh? When to? Why? Relatives came. For what did they come? For what did they come? They bought the site? Seeing. And you wasted your 1 day class. You wasted 1 day's class. If you don't have a job, will they give you money every month? What is primary key? Any attribute that can be used to uniquely identify an entity or a record is called a primary key. What is alternate key? They are not the primary keys in a particular table. Yeah, what is alternate key? Among the available keys, which we don't choose as the primary key, the rest become alternate keys. What is surrogate key? surrogate key. When the natural attributes of an entity are not sufficient enough to identify entity, okay, we introduce the surrogate key, some new attribute like a student ID or a people ID or something to uniquely identify a record. That is why it is called a surrogate key. Okay. Okay. What did I ask you to do yesterday in addition to all these keys? What was the SQL statement? What was the table I gave yesterday? Student table. What are the values? What is student name? Sadat. B. Don't make a note. This is not important. Okay. 1 Sadat. What is the degree? Okay. Maths. 70, 80, 90. Okay. 2 is Vasu. Degree. B. Okay. Okay. 3. Ullas. Okay. 3 Sham or Ullas? Ullas. 30 or 50? 30. Okay. That's all. Okay. So how do I get all the rows from the table? Select star from student. Run it. Okay. What is the first question? Okay. How do you set the primary key to student ID? Give the name of the constraint. Student ID. Okay. What is the next question? No, how to drop the primary key? How do you drop it? Alter table student. Drop constraint pk underscore the student ID, whatever the name of the primary key. Okay. So those of you who are new today, don't worry, just follow yesterday's class. Somebody will explain. Okay, next. What is the next question? List of students with degree B. Yeah. No. What is the question? What is the question? List of students with a degree B. So what is the thing? What do you have to do? Select. Okay. Everybody got this? Next. What is the next question? How many students in MCA? So what will you do? Select count of stars. Okay, should I say count of stars from student where? Should I say count of star or can I just say count of degree? If you say star, right, it means it is taking all the columns and counting. You just want to know how many records are there. So for that, why take all the columns? You can just take two columns, whichever column you need. This performs much faster. Okay, next. What is the next question? Select student name from student where forty and I don't need to select maths also here. If I put in where condition, it is still fine. Okay. Everybody got this? Next. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Select student name from student where physics in. You have to give some values. Okay. So what it will do, it will only check that are there. Yeah. Next. Total of maths plus physics. So what do I say? Select maths, now total is equal to maths plus physics as total. Okay, that's fine. Next. Everybody got all these answers? Degree wise maths total. Okay, so this is a new concept now. So the question is, how do I get degree wise maths total? So what should be the output? It should be something like degree BE 70 plus 65, MCA 82, sorry BCA 82, MCA is 30 plus 68. So what exactly are you doing here? You are taking, say you are taking degree as BCA, and then you are grouping together all the rows of BCA, and then taking the marks in each row and then adding them. Okay. So for that, you will have to use something called select degree maths. Okay. Now this is something called aggregate function. Whenever you have to operate on the rows, not on the columns, on the rows, you have to use something called aggregate function, and the aggregate function here is sum of maths marks from student. No there. Just say group by. Okay. So I am getting BCA 82, B 135, MCA 98. What is the next question? Total of physics for. So I will say sum of physics from student group by degree. There is something called having clause. Having degree is equals to MCA. Okay. So I get the physics marks for MCA. So here I want to introduce another concept. You can either write like this, okay, where you can say from student group by degree having MCA, or you can say select degree sum of physics from student where degree is equals to MCA group by. What is the difference between these two? Which one is better? BCA. In the first case, what it will do is, it will first group by all the degrees. It will first group by all the degrees. So it will group for B MCA, BCA, okay, after grouping and after performing the operation, it will only give you out MCA, okay. So it has first done the group by and then it has given out MCA. In the second case, it will first filter out all the rows wherever there is MCA. So how many rows will be there? Only 2 rows will be there, okay. On the 2 rows it will do a group by. In the previous case it will group by on 5 rows, okay, and then give whatever is required. But here it will filter out all the rows, okay, and only perform a group by on that. Which one you think is faster? Second one is faster, okay, because say in your college, okay, there are all the students are mixed together. All the students are mixed together, and you only want BE students, and you only want BE students in one group, okay. What will you do? Will you say BE stand somewhere, MCA stand somewhere, BCA stand somewhere, okay? So they all will take time to stand, and then you will say, okay, now BE guys come. Will you do that, or will you just say all the BE guys come out and then form a group? Which one will you say? The second one, okay. So that is exactly what we are doing here, okay. We are filtering first and then grouping by. This one is supposed to be faster. Next question. List of students in the reverse order of their student names. So I can say select star from student, order by student name, descending, okay. So I get all the students in the descending order of their student name. Or I can say, if I say ascending, it will be in the ascending order of the student name. Can I say first order should be descending order of student name, second order should be student ID ascending. Say if there are 2 students with the same name, if there are 2 students with the same name, which of the record will appear first? The one with the lesser student ID will appear first. So first it will group by student name, okay. Then it will group by student ID. It will order by student name and then it will order by student ID. It is like this. Say if at all your data was something like this. Okay. If I first say order by student name descending, which one will come first? S name descending means Vasu, Shyam, Sadat and Gopal. So Vasu's ID is what? 2, 3, say, sorry, Shyam is what? 4, 3, 1 or 1, 3 and then say 5. If at all we say student name descending and then student ID descending again, then among these 2 records it will be 3 Sadat first and then 1 Sadat next, okay. So you can continuously go on ordering it. Next, what is the next question? Distinct degrees. How do you get that? Select distinct okay. Then okay, list of, I need to know the student name from student, how, where degree is equals to MCA, okay, and pass mark is 50, right? So maths should be greater than or equal to 50 and physics greater than equal to 50 and chemistry greater than equal to 50. Is that fine? Have you heard of OR here? You can also put OR condition. Depending on the condition. There is and then there is OR. Okay. Any other questions? No? Having only, right? Okay. I asked you to find out what is the function get date. How do you know today's date on the database server? You will just say select get date. That is it. Don't have to give anything. Okay, get date is a function, you just say select, it will give you the get date. Next, what is the next question? Students whose total is greater than 150. So select student name from student where maths plus physics plus chemistry is greater than. You are all confident now with this simple query? Everybody? How do I insert data into a table? So what is my table? My table is something like select. Wait, I'll just select star from student. Okay. I want to insert data into this particular table. I want to insert one row. What is the syntax? Insert into student. Okay. What are the columns you want to insert? Student ID, student name, degree, math, physics, chemistry. Then I have to say value 6. I will say RAM 6. Why did I enter 6 without quotes? Because it is an integer. Okay, RAM is a varchar, so it is in single quotes. Sorry. That's fine. So let us say select out from student now. Okay. Now, sometimes if you are inserting all the values, we don't have to give all the names of the columns. We can just say insert into student value. Okay, provided we are giving all the values in the same order as the column name. Okay, and then the data types, everything match. Okay. Next. What is course? There is a table called select star from. Is course ID identity here? Let me check. Primary key. Let me make it identity. Just this. Okay. Now in this table, I want to insert a new record. Insert into course. What should I say? Course ID, course name, values, 7th value will enter, and then we'll enter it as Sanskrit. I made course ID as identity. What does that mean? Will we provide the value or will it provide the value? It will provide the value. If it is providing the value, why is it that we are trying to insert? Let me try to insert. It says, cannot insert explicitly value for identity column in the table course when identity insert is set to off. Okay? So you can't insert any identity value. You should let it do that. So you just say insert into course and then just give the course name. Okay? And see that 7 Sanskrit is added. Fine? Okay. So whatever we did till now was very simple. Okay. This is all very simple. We'll have to learn something called a inner query. Okay, means a query within a query. Okay. Say we have a table called, we'll say select star from student. I can just write, if I want to know the names of students, okay, whose degree is either BE or MCA, what will I write? I'll say select student name from student where degree, I can just say in BE, MCA. Okay. Or I can say select where degree in, and then I can just say select degree from student where degree in okay, this is a very dumb example to give, but the reason why I am giving it is because I wanted to explain what is an inner query. Okay. So whenever you say nested queries or inner queries like this, what it will do, it will first execute the innermost query, this query. What will be the output of it? It will say BE and MCA. Okay. It will put the value here, BE and MCA, and then it will execute this query with the new values that have come. Okay. So this is how you write inner queries. Okay. In this you can once again say where some student name in, and then once again you can write another query. Okay. You can go on nesting any number of queries. The reason I wanted to teach inner query is, now say there are another two statements, two SQL syntax constructs like select top to from, select top to star from student. What will it do? It will give me the first two records. Okay. If I want to know the last two students, what should I say? Should I say bottom two or should I say bottom? Bottom two or what? Top down, Down? If you are writing your own SQL, okay, you have given something called order by ascending and descending, right? Instead of saying bottom or down, there is nothing like bottom or down. All you have is top. Okay, and then you have ascending and descending. So I will say order by. Okay, then we get the bottom two. Okay, if you reverse the order and then take the top two, it means you are getting the bottom two. If I want to know the highest maths mark, if I want to know what is the highest maths mark, select, there is an aggregate function called max of maths from student. It is 82. Okay. If I want to know the top two maths marks, if I want to know the top two maths marks, top two maths from student, order by maths ascending. Yeah. If you want to know the top three, all I have to say is top 3. Okay. If I want to know the student who has got the second highest mark or the third highest mark, if I want to know the student name who has got the second highest mark, these are all interview questions. Okay. What do I do? What do I do? Say I want to know the second highest. So I will say, what are the 2 maths marks? Ascending. I want to know the second highest, right? So I have to put descending here. So what is the second highest maths mark here? 78, right? So all I want to know is, who is the student who has got 78? Okay? So how will I find out among these two which one is the least? Among these two I want to find out which one is the least. I have to say minimum of. Okay, that is fine. So I will say select student name from student where math is equals to min of what is it? Where is the order? Sorry, I can't. Where maths in or maths is equals to select Shivraj, what is it? Select minimum of I want to know the second highest maths mark. Descending, yes. Then sorry, where minimum of maths, I'm getting the second highest, where maths in, okay. So what will I get now? I will get the second highest maths mark. Okay, I just got it till here. But if I want to know the student who has got this, select student name from student where maths is equals to are you getting this? So which is the innermost query? This is the innermost query. So what will it give? It will give the top 2 maths marks, and that will go as an input to the select minimum of maths marks where maths and something. So I will get the second highest maths mark, which is 78, and that will go as an input to this outer query which says select student name from student where maths is equals to 78. And what should I get? I should get the name of the student class. If they ask you, tell me the second highest maths mark, you'll only write it till here. Okay? If they ask you, tell me the name of the student, then you'll have to do it from here. Here? If at all I want to know the student who has got the third highest, I just have to say top 3. If I want to know the student who has got the third least mark, instead of descending, I have to say ascending. Okay. So this is what is called an inner query. trying to figure out what else is left here. Okay. So we all know how to create tables, how to create database. What is the primary primary data file extension? .mdf. Secondary data file, log data file, .ldf. Okay, and then everybody knows what is identity. Identity specification. Okay, identity has two things. What are they? Seed and increment. What is default value? No, not for identity. What is default? If you don't give any value in that particular column, it will give whatever is the default value there. Okay, cool. We'll be going a step further here. I showed you how to set a primary key, everybody. Everybody knows how to set a primary key. So what have we satisfied there? Which integrity rule? Entity integrity. I showed you how to specify a unique key also. What is the difference between primary key and unique key? One null value, whereas the primary key will not allow any null value. In any table, you can have any number of unique keys. Okay, all the columns can have unique key values, but primary key should only be one. Okay. Next step. So there is a table called person or voter, in which there is voter ID, integer, voter name, gender, care of 1. Okay. So this is my table. I created the table. Let me add some rows to it. Voter ID 1, voter name Sadat, gender male, voter ID 2, Ghanshyam, gender. Oh. Possible, not possible? No. Technically, is it possible or not possible now? Possible. Logically, correct or wrong? Wrong. So, what should we do here? What are the possible values in gender? M or S. Okay. So, what should we do here? We should apply something called a constraint on it, and the constraint name is check constraint. So, how will you do that? Modify. Select this. Manage check constraint. Say add expression. Say gender is equals to M or gender is equals to S. Okay. Now 3. Sundar, I'll put. Oh. Possible? It's not letting me do it. I'll put M, let me do that. 4. Okay. Is that clear? So how do you apply a check constraint? Choose that particular column. Click on this manage check constraints. Add a constraint and then give the expression, okay, that says gender is equals to M or gender is equals to F. Gender is what? Name of that particular column. Okay? Or you can also write an expression that says gender in M, comma S. These are the values it has to take. Okay? Or you can write, if at all it is a number field, it is an integer field. So you will say if the field was like amount, okay, amount greater than 10 and amount less than 100. So what are the values that can go? Any value between 11 and 99. Okay, this is how you will write your expression. So what does it satisfy? Domain integrity. Okay, a simple check constraint will satisfy domain integrity. Now say, let me have another table called, I'll call it as, this is for RVIM, okay, some college called RVIM, and for their student, there is something called student ID, where their student ID is something like this. What is your college ID? What is 074? It is years, okay, then R31 is college code, then A05141. What does A stand? 514. What does A stand for? Your branch? MA. From A it is identification, is it? Okay, from 1A it is identification. So your computer science. What about the electronics guys? What will they have? How will you? No, by that you can't find out whether he is an electronic student. Okay, say the college code is something like this. First two characters specify the year. The next two characters, I mean say R3, this is college code and this is fixed for every student. Okay. After that, there will be degree code like A1 and there can be A2, A5 or B1 to B3. Okay. B1 to B3 and then the next numbers will be say 001. This is your ID number. This is how the college code will be. Okay. So how many characters altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what is my student ID? Okay. I'll care of 50 and say I'll save this college as RVIM student. Let me enter some data in it. What is the student ID? Can I say how many should I give? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can I give something like this? Technically yes. Logically correct. What should be the thing like? It should be in this format. Okay? Can I write a check constraint? Can I write a check constraint? How will you write the check constraint? Will you give all these? This will go on increasing. You can keep on giving any possible values. You can be students for so many years. Okay. And so many permutations, combinations you might not be able to write. Okay. And moreover, the student ID is not available only in this one particular table. It can be available in 10 different tables. So will you write check constraints on all the 10 tables? So for that, there is something called rule. There is something called a rule. So what I'll do, I'll create a rule object. How will I create a rule object? In that right database, say create rule, give a name of it, r underscore SID as values like or value like. Which one is it? It is values like, and then, or I think is it at the rate value like. At the rate value like. What can be the first number? No, first character is, it can be 0 to 9, right? It is a number. So I'll say it can be 0 to 9. What is the next character? 0 to 9. That is the 2 years over. After this, it definitely has to be R3. Okay, so I'll just say it has to be R and then 3. After that, what can be the values? A or B? So I'll say A or B. Okay, it can either be A or B. And what can be the other values? 1 to 6. Okay, and after that, the numbers can be 0 to 9, 0 to 9, and then 0 to 9. No, 0 to 9. 1 to 9 is it? What if the number is 220? Okay. So what is this at the rate value? At the rate value is nothing but a variable. Any variable in SQL has something called at the rate. So this at the rate value means, I'll first check the syntax of this. Oh. Okay, check the syntax and then I created the rule. Okay. So the rule says any value that this rule has to check must be in this particular format. Done till here. Now this rule is lying independently somewhere. You have to attach this particular rule to a column. Okay. So I will say st underscore bind rule. What is the name of the table? RVIM student. This is the name of the table. And what is the column name? Student ID. And then what is the rule name? R underscore SID. Which one comes first? The rule and the rule name and the column name? Okay. So I think the rule name has to come first. Okay, it says rule bound to the column. So what is it? SP underscore bind rule, rule name, and then the table dot column name. Is that fine? Now let me go back to this particular and then try to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, this is not. So something that was entered by mistake. Close it. Open. Okay, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What does it say? It says a column insert or update conflicts with a rule imposed by a previous create rule statement. The statement was terminated. The conflict occurs in the database STB, table, RVIM student, column, student ID. Okay. Now I can give something like 07. What did I say after that? R3. Okay. And then A1. I can say 001. Now can it insert? Okay. Now the same rule, you can go bind it to another column in another table, whichever has to follow that. So you have one central place where you have the rule defined, and you can go on binding it to multiple columns. Tomorrow if you have to change the rule, where will you change? You will change only in the alter rule. You will write something like alter rule name and then give the new rule. Is that clear? So there is a rule that has been bound to a column. How do you bind it? sp underscore bind rule, name of the rule, and then name of the table called column. If you want to remove the rule, you have to say sp underscore unbind rule. What is the syntax? It is and then just give the name of the you just have to say remove the name of the table, unbind rule, just give the name of the table dot name of the column. So what will you do? It will just unbind whatever rule is there attached to it. You don't have to specify the name of the rule. Okay? The first one is the table name, the second one is the column name. Okay? Why is it that we have to always give the table name? Because there can be two tables with the same column name. Right? So that's the reason we always have to say table name dot column name. Can you have two tables with the same name in the database, in your database? No, not possible. Can you have two tables with the same name in two different databases? Yes, okay. So how do you enforce domain integrity? By either check or by rule. So whenever you know that the range is limited and then there is only one column you need to apply the domain integrity, you will use check constraint. But whenever you think it is a range of values, okay, and they have to conform to a particular pattern, okay, then you will have to go for rule, and then you can create a rule object and you can bind that rule object to multiple tables. Clear? What are you following? Huh? You don't seem to be interested in the class, are you? Okay. The last topic for the day. There was something called differential integrity, right? There was something called differential integrity. What does differential integrity mean? There cannot be a child without a parent. There cannot be a child without a parent. So, select star from student, select star from course. So we have students and then we have courses. Now I want to create a table. Where a student can register for a course. Okay? One student can register for one or two courses. So I will have something called student ID integer, course ID integer. Okay? I'll say save. It is a relationship between student and course. Okay. So just see what are the possible students. How many students are there? 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who are the students? Either student ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Courses 1 to 7. Okay. Let me come here and then say open table. I want to insert student ID. Say 1. Course ID 1. Technically correct? Technically correct. Student has registered for course ID 1. Logically correct. Yes. Student ID 1 has also registered for course 2. Technically and logically correct. Student ID 10 registering for course 1. Technically correct. Technically yes. Technically yes. It just accepts an integer column. It's an integer column. We can enter any integer data. So did I enter any character data there? No, I only entered integer data 10. Logically is that correct? Why? There is no student with ID 10. Okay. Then what should we do? The values that come into this particular column should be existing in the parent table here. I mean wherever that student table in the student ID column. So how do we do that? I'll first delete this row. And then let me go to this table, modify. For this I have to set something called a foreign key. So there is something called relationships. Click on this relationships. Say add. Okay, and then expand this or just come here and then click on this ellipsis, tables and column specification. What is the primary key table? It is the student table. What is the foreign key table? It is the student course table. What should exist in the primary key? Student ID. What should exist here in the foreign key? It should be the student ID. It means to say that in the parent table, student, if there is some value in the student ID, only those values can exist here. I just say okay. I am adding another one. What is the specification? What is the course table is the primary key. Okay, and then the foreign key is student course. Here there is course ID, here there is course ID. I just say close. If I say save, it will save altogether 3 tables because they are all related now. See? Yes. Okay. Now come back. Save 10. Save 2. It says the insert statement conflicted with the foreign key constraint. Whatever. The conflict occurred in the database, something, column, student ID. Is that clear? So now, it will only allow values like whatever is there. Is that fine? Sometimes, what you will do, you will go to the parent table and delete off that row by mistake. Say there is student ID 2 there, and that student ID 2 is there in this particular table. You will delete that row 2 by mistake. Okay? Should it let you delete or no? It will throw you a warning, an error, saying that, if you delete the parent, the child will become an orphan, so you are not supposed to delete it. Okay? Alternatively, what you could do, manage relationships. There is something called here insert update specification. There is something called delete rule. Just say, if you say cascade, okay, if you delete it in the parent, it will delete the parent row, it will also delete the child row. Okay, if you say not cascade, just set it as null. Then what will it do? It will delete in the parent row, but in the child row, in the child table, in that particular ID it will specify null. Okay, foreign key specification will only check if the values are existing. If it is null, it won't bother. Okay, if it is null, it won't bother. But if there is a value, it has to be a proper value. Clear? So no action, just say close. Even update rule, if you are writing an update rule, it means to say that if you update a value in the parent for some student ID 10, it will also update in the child for that particular row, student ID 10. Clear? So you will have to see other things that you will have to read today is how to update. Okay, These are the following topics. There is update, there is delete, okay, and then there is something called select into. There is one kind of a statement called select into, and then there is something called truncate, which is similar to delete, okay. So you have to find out all the differences between delete and truncate, okay. Other thing is, there is something called DDL, DML. After that, DCL. What is C? So which one is control here? Can you give an example of DCL? Which one? Grant. Okay. All these grant, deny are all control languages. So there is DDL, there is DML, at least understand these two well. Okay. When I say DML, it is data manipulation, it is select, insert, update, delete. Okay. DDL is all the create statements, create, alter and drop statements. Okay. So update, delete, truncate, select. What else do we have? And then you have to find out how to specify foreign key using that create statement, add constraint and all that stuff. Foreign key, how do you specify? How do you specify check constraint? Check constraint, what is rule? What you have to find out is, on a column, can you bind multiple rules? Say there is one rule, you bound one rule, after that can you bind another rule? Okay, you need to find that out. Okay, and then what else do we have? What else is there? Okay, and then so tomorrow you'll read something called views. Okay, what are views? How to create a view? Okay, can a view be created from two tables? Okay. Okay, before views, right? Before views, first read joins. Okay. Before views, first read join. Okay. And then there is something called cross join, inner join, outer join. And whenever I say outer join, it is of three types: left outer join, right outer join, and then there is something called full outer join, and then there is something called self join. Natural join is cross join only, or it is inner join? Natural join. Natural join is cross join. Cross join, or I think it's also called natural join. Okay. Sir, from tomorrow you have to read all this. Okay. Everybody knows how to operate Management Studio now? SQL Management Studio, everybody knows how to operate? Everybody is comfortable writing queries?